communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
With you, Tasnuva Tahiat. Now details this time. A caller to 911 in Salt Lake City said a man had come into a brewery in his underwear, tried to steal beers, and was running around in the street, posing a danger to himself and to drivers. Police tried to detain the man. Soon, Nikon Brandon was dead. After the Salt Lake City Police Department on Friday released body camera footage of the August 14 fatal encounter and the 911 recording, activists on Saturday were asking why an unarmed person ended up dead and were accusing police of using disproportionate force. Stealing a beer does not equate to the death penalty, said Lex Scott, founder of Black Lives Matter Utah. I don't care if this man robbed 10 banks in one day. He didn't deserve to die. He deserved it to make it to court. Following news. Since she came to California from Mexico 24 years ago, Maria Bernal has been supporting her family by often working 2 jobs at fast food restaurants. But she says she ends up living in a small Kia with her 2 youngest children, then ages 3 and 15, for 6 months after she lost her housing in 2019, when one of her employees began paying her minimum wage for 8 hours, even when she worked a 16-hour double shift. Union organizers and other advocates say such wage theft and other exploitation is common in the fast food industry, particularly for women and racial minorities, who make up many of California's more than 500,000 fast food workers. The industry denies such abuses are widespread. Next news. Chaz Andrews has wanted to join the army since he was 19, but he has failed the service's academic test more than 10 times over the past decade. Now, at age 29, Andrews thinks he has a real shot to pass, thanks to new army program that gives lower performing recruits up to the 19 days of academic or fitness instruction to help them meet military standards. I didn't want to give up on it, he said during a recent break in his classroom schedule at Fort Jackson, where he is one of more than 300 recruits who have been allowed to enlist in new army prep course. And if Andrews, who is from Brooklyn, New York, is able to raise his test score, he will be allowed to continue on to basic training. Next news. Democratic candidates have decided North Carolina's newly reinstated abortion restrictions after a federal judge allowed a state law banning nearly all abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy to go into effect. But some North Carolina Democrats say the ruling earlier this month, the latest fallout of the June U.S. Supreme Court decision eliminating federal abortion prosecutors, might be the catalyst their party needed to reinvigorate its political prospects in what was shaping up to be a losing year. I do think it's a blessing in disguise for Democrats, said Morgan Jackson, consultant to powerful North Carolina Democrats like Government Roy Cooper and Attorney General Josh Stein. It was a horrible policy decision that set back decades and decades of progress for women, but at the same time, it has given Democrats a renewed optimism about this year. A short break from the daily English news of Millennium News 24/7. Stay tuned.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
To Millennium News 24/7 Daily News Update. From fire departments to governments, from school districts to corporations, from local utilities to grassroots organizers around the world, Twitter at its best is a tool to get a message out quickly, efficiently, directly. It's also a constant risk and reward calculation. A recent bombshell whistleblower report from Twitter's former head of security alleges that the social media company has been negligently lax on cybersecurity and privacy protections for its users for years. While worrisome for anyone on Twitter, the revelations could be especially concerning for those who use it to reach constituencies, get news about emergencies, and for political dissidents and activists in the crosshairs of hackers or their own governments. Next news. Facebook's corporate parent has reached a tentative settlement in a lawsuit alleging the world's largest social network service allowed millions of its users' personal information to be fed to Cambridge Analytica, a firm that supported Donald Trump's victorious presidential campaign in 2016. Terms of the settlement reached by Meta Platforms, the holding company for Facebook and Instagram, weren't disclosed in court documents filed late Friday. The filing in San Francisco federal court requested a 60-day stay of action while lawyers finalized the settlement. The timelines suggested further details could be disclosed by late October. Next news. Tom Petty's pianist plays Tennessee Waltz, and Ernest Tubb classic writes a Bo Diddley beat, and a deep cut by the 60s band The Zombies becomes a Disney-style lullaby. The latest album from Watkins family hour lasts just 39 minutes, but that's not to say it falls short, like its 2015 predecessor, Volume 2, captures the adventurous spirit of the musical variety shows hosted by siblings Sarah and Sean Watkins during their enduring residency at the Los Angeles club Largo. The stellar new set is more consistently engaging than the first album, thanks to a range of styles and collaborators. Among those featured are Benmont Tench, a larger regular best known for his work with Petty, and Jackson Browne, who signs harmony on a stirring rendition of his tune, The Late Show. Next news. Arriving at the US Open site in a tournament courtesy vehicle for the first time this year, Emma Raducanu was struck by the memory that hit her from last trip to Flushing Meadows. The ride to Arthur Ashe Stadium on the morning of the final against Arthur unseated teenager Leila Fernandez. I felt so carsick. I just blamed it on being carsick, but I think I was a bit nervous too. The whole car journey, my head was in my hands. I was like, what's going on? Said Raducanu, who is seeded 11th this time and will begin her title defense in Louis Armstrong Stadium against Alice Cornet at night on Tuesday. Day 2 of the hardcourt Grand Slam event. As soon as I got out of the car, the British player said, I just promised myself, look, you just fake it, do whatever you can, and it worked well that day. This was the daily local news of Millennium News 24/7. Log in to get the latest news. Our social networking site, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers, now on both network broadcasting Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, also all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment and latest news and views. Our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA, Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Stay with Millennium News 24. Thank you.
Far from the front lines of a war in its 5th month. The timing was not likely a coincidence. While much of the attritional war in Ukraine's east is hidden from sight, the brutality of Russian missile strikes on a mall in the central city of Kremenchuk and on residential buildings in the capital city of Kiev unfolded in full view of the world, and especially in front of Western leaders gathered for a trio of summits in Europe. Were the attacks a message from your Russian President Vladimir Putin as the West sought to arm Ukraine with more effective weapons to bolster its resistance